Okay, I just watched a disturbing video. It's there's a video about the rising healthcare costs, and it's a video by Candace Owens. She's speaking to Bush. I mean Bush, uh, White House official, not Bush. Um, yeah, but it's really disturbing how they are jacking up prices. I'm not going to play the whole video. I'm just going to maybe show it. But I mean, I have the link in the description to the video, but I recommend that people watch it because it outlines all the shady practices of the healthcare system, including and especially the fact that they don't tell you what it's going to cost up front. They don't tell you what the costs are of anything that they give you or that they charge you for. And even when you do get an itemized bill, it's undecipherable. You can't know what you're getting charged for because it's all in code. And there's so many things that they talked about that is really just crazy. And of course, people are fighting back because President Trump is working hard to fix the problem, and he's getting sued. The administration is getting sued because they don't want to change their practices, their shady practices of charging and middlemen and a whole slew of problems. And hello, Honesty Angel, how you doing? Just so many problems, and I don't know how many people. I mean, I've always heard that. I mean, I've always known that you try to avoid going to the hospital at all costs. You know, by any means, you avoid going to the hospital. I mean, I could say go and get a checkup and stuff, but you try to stay away from hospitals for many reasons, and one of the reasons is that you're going to be really charged really bad. So yeah, I have this video here. I'm not going to play the video, but it's about Candace Owens and Katie Talento. She was working with the administration or still involved in some way, but they explain in detail of all the shady practices of what they do, things that people didn't know. She's saying things like you don't, if you go to the hospital, you don't sign that you agree to make the payments because you don't know what you're paying for. There's no there's no price list of things you're getting charged for, or there's no way you can know how much you're going to be charged for when you go to the hospital. They could insist on an MRI, it would cost you thousands of dollars. And they're just and the hospitals end up suing you for the money sometimes, many times, and they go through and explain it all. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much about it, except that it's just a really, you know, really scary thing. I mean, it's like a horror show. Yeah. Got something worse. Yeah. No, it's. I mean, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know how bad it was. And of course, we can blame all the educated so-called scientists, for the healthcare system that we have, because it's not a free market system. They explain it's not a free market system. It's not an example of a free market system because nobody knows what the prices are on anything. So there's no competition. The competition, if you have a drug, if you come up with a drug, you can't get it into the hospital because somebody else is paying to have their drug put in the hospital to be used. So even if your drug is a better drug, you can't get it in the hospital for people to use because somebody's getting kickbacks or bribing people to, drug companies to push other drugs that they want pushed, on people. So it doesn't mean that you're having even a good product. It could be a worse product. And they're insisting, that these drug commercials that they have, that they not only tell you what all the side effects are, that how it's going to kill you, but how it's going to ruin you financially too. So they're going, there's a whole bunch of things, about it. So I recommend everyone watch the video. And like I said, I'm not going to play it because it's a little bit long, but it's still very informative. And it's put out by PragerU. I guess, I don't know, it's a Candace Owens show or something, or I don't know what it is, if it's PragerU or what it is. But it's very informative, and everybody should know about it, and everybody should be complaining about this, you know, the system of gouging people. You talk about highway robbery. This is, like they said, when you're at your most vulnerable and position in life. They're there not to help you, but they're there to gouge you, price gouge you, and ruin you financially. You know, taking advantage of your vulnerability in the situation that you're in. So it's just a real nightmare. And President Trump is doing everything to fix it, to change it, to make it better. And his administration's getting sued every time he goes to make a move on it, to make requirements, and require insurance companies, show their costs, that the drug companies and the drugs the hospitals use, they show their costs. And they're doing everything to stop it, when 80% of the American people want transparency. They want you to know, they want to know what they're going to pay, what they're going to be paying for. So yeah, it's very informative. The What's her name, Katie? It was Katie Talento. She said that when you go in, instead of signing the form, the medical form that they want you to sign, saying you're going to pay for it, you just say, well, I wasn't able to read everything. And if everybody did that, then there's bound to be some changes. But hopefully there will be some changes. But again, I blame the people running around in white lab coats. The supposed educated people. They're just scheming on how they can make money off of you. And that's an example of one of the reasons why people, so many scientists hate Donald Trump, because he's trying to make it life more reasonable for people, more pleasant, more reasonable for people, when you go to pay. And Candace Owens was saying, if there's a kid that's got asthma, they are not allowed to give him medicine. He goes to the CVS, they can't give him the medicine that will save his life on the spot. All it is just a little inhaler. And they can't do that because everybody's got to take their cut. All the pharmacy, the middlemen have to take their cut. The drug company has to take whatever cut there is, and so they can't give him the medicine, and the kid dies right in the CVS or the hospital because they don't have a prescription. The doctor has to give his prescription. He has to get a cut. Everybody has to get a cut, and the kid dies because he can't take the medicine, the inhaler, save his life. And that's just not the way it used to be. Because Candace Owen said his dad back in the day had the same problem, and he would just go get the inhaler right on the spot and solve the problem. But now it's all controlled where everybody gets a cut, everybody gets kickbacks and cuts and part of the money and stuff like that, and it's just very bad system, and it's not an example of a free market system. It's an example of hidden fees and lack of transparency. So so we need to do what we can. I know I don't have the greatest audience. I mean the largest audience, but it's just really a bad thing. So anyway, I don't want to beleaguer the point or anything. Just that again, it's this scientists, so-called scientists, that you can't trust, and the ones in the white lab coats running around. They're supposed to be helping us, and they're supposed to be good, and they end up hurting us. So that's that. Well, I hope everybody has a great rest of the weekend or whatever, and I just hope that this medical system gets straightened out. I mean, I knew there was a good reason not to go to the hospital, as much as possible, but this is really crazy. They need to change it.